Yes. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we'll start in 5 minutes. For some start at 9 o'clock. Okay. Yes. I hope I am audible to everyone. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So I'm sharing the screen, particular slide. So in today's class, we'll be discussing the topic on data reduction technique. Okay. So data reduction technique means what? Like uh, in the organization, what will happen is, let us assume that one of the organization wants to come up with a new model or a new feature in in the motor vehicle or a four-wheeler, correct? So before introducing all these things, they do different type of the surveys possible, correct? So what is the market condition? What is the competitors' uh, perspective right now, and what is the customer's expectation in terms of service delivery as well as features of their vehicle, correct? So all these things, different type of the surveys are to be done. So when different type of the surveys are being conducted, what will happen is you require sometimes more number of questions in order to understand the customer's perception. More number of questions means what? More columns in MS Excel, like what you have already done, correct? For each of the question, you have created different columns in MS Excel, correct? So what happens is when the number of columns goes on increasing in an MS Excel, it becomes little difficult for data analyst to analyze the variables, correct? That is the reason what will happen is we require this type of the data reduction technique, wherein different possibilities are in the cluster analysis. In the this class, we discussed something on the cluster analysis, where we try to categorize each of the users into different categories. For example, I think in the last class we discussed um, categorization of the internet users, correct? A person who is actually searching the information related to a particular movie can be categorized uh, into a reviewer. He or she may want to review a particular movie. So that is the reason that particular researcher may be searching the internet, correct? So that's internet searcher can also be categorized uh, someone who is trying to search a theater nearby, correct? So in which multiplex that particular movie is being run, correct? So that that also may be one of the possibilities, correct? So categorization of the searchers are possible, correct? So whoever is surfing the internet, so you can actually categorize these type of the customers. Now, what will happen is when you have 1,000 different data, let us assume that you have 1,000 different responses. You can actually categorize the respondents, 250 respondents into one category, another 250 into another as a reviewers, 250 respondents as a people who are actually searching for theater information, so on and so forth. So what you have done here is 1,000 data uh, you may have classified into different type of the categories, and once this classification is done, you only have 4 groups to study instead of analyzing the complete 1,000 information. Now you have only 4 different classifications or 4 different groups to study, correct? So this ways, our data reduction technique will help. Now, in the previous class, we studied something on the cluster analysis as the first data reduction technique. Now we are going to study something on factor analysis, correct? So what do we mean by factor? Factor is a linear combination of the variables. It is a construct that is not directly observed, but that needs to be inferred from the input variables. So this is something called as a factor. Now, what does factor mean? Uh, Possibly we'll just have a look into few of the examples, and possibly then it would make sense. We'll just go for an example, and then we will discuss what is the theory. So first thing is, let us assume that we have different questions. Okay, so let us assume that we have different questions. Correct. So I think I will use the whiteboard. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes. Yes, example is now let us assume that a survey is being conducted. Survey is regarding bank service. Okay. Bank service is there, and the survey is being conducted. And the questionnaire is circulated to different customers of the bank. First thing is, the bank is asking them to rate. Okay, there's a friendliness. Second thing is, have we discussed all these things in the previous class? I think factor analysis, I think we have not discussed it, right? We have not discussed factor analysis in the previous class. That's what I remember. Stopped at cluster analysis. So assistance over phone. So all these things, I think everyone, not frequently, I think some of them I have experienced this. Towards operation. Okay. Now, what has happened is different questions are asked to the customer related to the friendliness of the staff. First thing is how friendly the staff, bank staff. Second thing is what is time taken the line. So they are asked to rate from 1 to 10. All the rating question. Possibly, if they are happy, they will mark it as 10. Otherwise, if they are not happy, they will mark this as okay. Here, next is assistance over the phone. How better the bank employees actually assist their customers over the phone. That is the next question. So here also they are supposed to rank, possibly 7 maybe the ranking, rating, correct? Next is distance of the bank from home. How far the bank is from home, right? The rank, hours of operation. Okay. So these are the different questions, and these ratings I'm just giving. These are nothing but my own assumption. Okay. So in the next slide, you will find what is the actual rating given by the. Okay. So these are nothing but the ratings. Okay, like what you have done in project. Done. Customers are asked to rate. Okay. So these are the friendliness. These are the different questions. Okay. What has happened is these are the different questions, and if you have to see, these are the different ratings. Q1, Q2. That is question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So possibly even we had 6 questions. No, we had asked 5 questions, but here there is 6 questions. Possibly some other question will be there, which I have not included. Okay. Now let us assume that there are 5 questions, 5 or 6 questions. Doesn't matter. Right. So now out of 10, 1, 2, 6 customers have rated question number 1. 6 customers have rated question number 2. Similarly, all the 6 questions. Is it right? So all the 6 questions are being rated here. So these are the different ratings. Now, what is being done is they try to find out is there any correlation. For example, if they have rated 3, the first question, if you have to see, there is certain type of a correlation between the first, second, and third, because it's almost the same. First question is being rated by the first customer as 3. Next the same customer has rated it as 2, and the same customer has rated it as 4. So there is some sort of a correlation we can find. Even the second question, if you have to see, the second customer has rated this question as 2. Second customer has rated this question as 4, and this as 3. So there is not much of the difference. If you have to see 2, 4, 3. Okay. Similarly, if you have to see here, you can just find some type of clustering that is possible here between fourth, fifth, and sixth question. Correct? Why? Because if you have to see 5, 6, and 5, the same customer has given the rating as 5, 6, 5. So some type of a correlation we can find here also. If you have to see 7, 6, and 5, while this is 1, 2, and 2. Okay, so the person who has rated 1 for question number 1 has rated 2 for question number 2 and rated 3 for question number 3. There is some sort of a similarity in whatever you are asking in the question, or whatever the researcher is asking. Somewhere it can be, there is a possibility that these 3 questions can be grouped. Similarly, there is a possibility that these 3 questions can be grouped. Correct. Again, the next respondent, if you have to see question number 1, 2, and 3, it is rated as 10, 9, and 8. Similarly, fourth, fifth, sixth question is 4, 4, and 5. Okay, so some sort of a correlation we can find between fourth, fifth, sixth question and the first, second, third question also. There is some type of a similarity what we could find. Correct. Now, how do we find all this similarity? It is nothing but we have to use correlation coefficient. Correct. Correlation coefficient. If you have to see, correlation coefficient. What was the equation? So these are the different questions you have asked. Correct. So using the correlation coefficient, you are going to determine the correlation coefficient. Correct. And you are going to find out, is there any type of a correlation between first, second, and third? And similarly, fourth and fifth. Sixth question, I do not have space here. But there is a sixth question which is not being written here. Okay, so there is no space, but I hope you can understand this. So there is some type of a correlation between first, second, and third. So it is nothing but why there is a correlation. The reason for that is all the 3 things are internal to the bank organization. Correct. You have to say friendliness of the staff. How friendly staff are. This time spent in line, assistance over the phone. So all these 3 are related to the employees. That is the reason if you have to see that you can find some type of a correlation between the first, second, and third. While the fourth and fifth question, if you have to see, it is about the distance and hours of operation. Hours of operation in the sense 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, banking hours of working. Correct. So for how many hours they work actually. Correct. So this is not related to the bank employees, is it right? Distance of the bank. What can an employee do for the distance from the bank? Correct. So it is not possible. So if you have to see, there is no much correlation between fourth and third question. But there is a lot of correlation between fourth and fifth question. Is it right? So that is the reason we can say that yes, if you want, you can just make note of this example, whatever I have written. Then we will go ahead. If there is any doubts, you can ask. Meanwhile, is it understood until here? Is there any type of a doubts? You can just make note of this example, whichever that is there on the white screen. We'll go ahead. So basically, when there are when the questionnaire consists of or when the MS Excel, whatever the data you have entered in the MS Excel, if it includes 100 different columns, because ultimately a market research for a company is not going to be that easy. They have to conduct, they have to include almost different parameters. Only then they are supposed to take decisions, right? So if they are considering 100 different parameters, what will happen is now here also you can see these are the 5 different columns. Friendliness of the staff can be one of the column in MS Excel. Time spent in line can be another column in MS Excel. Assistance over phone can be another column. So likewise, we have 5 different columns. Likewise, in the organization in real time, if you have to see that 100 different columns, there are different columns. It's better to group them. Always, it is better to group them. Once the grouping is done, further analysis can be done easily. This is called as basically this is called as data reduction technique. Okay, so I hope everyone has taken the example. Let's go ahead. Okay, now what is being done? Like for example, question number 1, question number 2. Just one example I'm just considering. The rating was 3251. Next question. Okay, so these are the responses obtained for question number 1. Now what you do is you apply correlation equation for this. Finally, you'll get some correlation, right? Which you are going to jot it down or note it down in the form table. Correlation matrix is being known. What does this correlation matrix mean? This is 0.987. That means whatever I told just now, between question number 1 and question number 2, there is a correlation of 0.87. Which is actually very good amount of correlation. Similarly, between question number 1 and question number 3, there is a correlation of 0. Similarly, between question number 2 and 3, there is a correlation of 0.765. Are you getting this? If there is no doubts, I will just go ahead. So that is the reason there is all the first 3 questions are being put into single category. Why? Because question number 1 and 2 is related. Similarly, question number 2 and 3 is related. So question number 1, 2, and 3 is being grouped as a single factor. Okay, so that is what is mentioned here. Question number 1 until 3 strongly correlates with each other. Similarly, if you have to see, there is a correlation between 4th and 5th, okay, and 5th and 6th, 4th and 6th. So that is the reason question number 4 to 6 is being put into a single character. Okay, is it right? So like whatever I told just now, okay, so you're finding the correlation, and what you do is question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, calling it as factor 1. Factor 1 is what? Service quality. You can just name it according to your convenience. Question number 2 is question number 4, 5, 6. Question number 4 and 5. Okay. Question number 4 and 5 can be. I will circulate this slides. Don't worry. Okay. So question number 4 and question number 5 can be called as factor 2. Why? Because there is a strong correlation between 0.9 something correct? And you can give your own convenient name for this. This is called as convenience. You can call it as anything. But if you have to see a bank operation that is 9 to 5, distance from your house to the bank, all these things, one is distance and another is bank operation. Bank can be named as a single factor called as factor 2 or 3. Okay, so this is something I have discussed until now. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask. The factors are being formed, so on and so on. So MS Excel is also helpful in doing all this. Not MS Excel, SPSS. So how to use SPSS will be taught by Badris in the next semester. If anyone has not understood, you can just ask. Slides will be shared with you the earliest possibly it is done. I will upload it, but no questions have come. So we assume that everyone has understood. If you have not understood, you can just contact me some other time. But now I'll just go ahead. So just relook into what is the definition of a factor. Factor is nothing but it is a linear combination of variables. It is a construct that is not directly observed, but that needs to be inferred from the input variables. Like factor means what? It, for example, convenience is one of the factors, right? So convenience cannot be directly measured, is it right? So convenience can be bank hours, and one is the distance uh, from the house. So these two can actually measure the convenience. It is indirectly measuring the convenience, correct? So similarly, what I have other parameters in my notes is availability for parking, so parking space. So if you have to go to some metro city, one like Mangalore and all, there is very congested area, a prime location. Bank has to take care of the parking space, but the customers feel convenient to park the vehicle and carry out their operations. Right? So this also can be another parameter of that can be considered under convenience factor convenience. So next, what is a factor analysis? This is called as a variable reduction technique. It reduces a set of variables in terms of a small number of latent factors. So we had 5 different variables which we have converted into only 2 factors. Factor analysis is a correlational method used to find and describe the underlying factors driving data values for a large. This is how the factors have been derived. Next, what are the different steps? First is testing the assumptions. Next is formulate the correlation matrix, like what we did just now. So in the future slides, it is being mentioned. Next is method of factor analysis. And next is determination of the number of factors. Last one is interpretation. So what are the different assumptions we will see now? First thing is the normality of the data set. Normality means what? The average will be having the highest frequency. So in the normal probability distribution, we have already seen what is normal probability distribution. So the variable which you are trying to determine the factor analysis, that variable must be normal in nature. Next is adequate sample size. Adequate samples must have been collected, right? So based on the total number of variables, if there are 100 variables, adequate number of responses are collected. Similarly, for 1,000 variables, if there are 1,000 variables, again the number of samples goes on increase. Correct. So adequate number of samples has to be determined. If data should be metric in nature, that means it should be numerical in nature. Only then you can run a factor analysis. Now, what is a KMO test? KMO test, as it is already being told, in SPSS, or this is just a technique which is used to determine if the adequate responses are being collected or not. Okay, adequate samples or responses are being collected or not in order to conduct this factor analysis. Because as the total number of variables increases, the number of responses should also increase. Why? Because why it is important? Because in order to study sometimes variance, why? Because the consistent answer, in order to determine whether the consistent answer is being obtained or not, what will happen is number of responses has to be collected more in number in order to study whether the same opinion is across all the respondents, or is it only for the. So in order to analyze all these things, with the number of variables, the increase in the number of variables, even the number of responses increases. Okay. So construction of the correlation matrix. So there are 5 to 6 variables. You require n into n minus 1 divided by 2 combinations. Here. So here there are 6 questions, and you can just check out how many correlations calculations are required. So this is called as a correlation matrix. Correct. So between question number 1 and 2, there is a correlation of 0. In question number 1 and 2, there is a correlation of 0.987. Similarly, between question number 1 and question number 2, there is a correlation of 0.801. So on and so forth. Okay. So rest of them all are negative, or no correlation is found. So that is the reason we are not considering for our analysis. Okay. So this is basically factor analysis. These slides will be shared with you. Go through this. If there is any doubts, you can ask. Meanwhile, since this is an online class, I cannot just make out understanding level that is understood or not. Only if you ask. Correct. So slides will be uploaded in the LMS by today. Download it and see. Next is multidiscriminant analysis. This is again module 5 itself. Okay. So this is the last topic under module 5. So the basic difference between cluster analysis and multidiscriminant analysis. So, what is the difference between cluster analysis and multidiscriminant? Cluster analysis considers both variables must be, while multidiscriminant analysis one variable has to be non-metric. Otherwise, there is no much difference between cluster analysis and multidiscriminant analysis. One variable is compulsorily non-metric. Are you getting this? While here in cluster analysis, both variables has to be compulsorily numeric. That is the main difference between cluster and multidiscriminant analysis. Okay. So here, just considering one of the example, explanation for this, the technique for analyzing the data. The dependent variable is categorical and the independent variable is numeric. For example, dependent variable may be the choice of a brand of personal computers. The brand of the laptop may be Lenovo, HP, Dell, so on and so forth. And independent variable may be rating of the characteristics of the personal computers. a 7-point Likert scale. So here what happens is multidiscriminant. Go back to our example. Yes. So here what has happened? We're considering the choice of brand on customer service rating. Okay, so choice is dependent. Choice is dependent on customer service rating, correct? That is the reason. This, if you have to see, this is called as non-numeric. This is called as non-numeric. Is it right? The choice is nothing but it is non-numeric. It is either yes or no. It is non-numeric. While customer rating, if you have to see, it is numeric. In customer rating is totally numeric, and it can be anything in 1 to 10, 1 to 7, 1 to 5, so on and so forth. Basically, that is the thing. Okay. For example, so I'm just in the second point. For example, the dependent variable may be the choice of brand of personal computers, and the independent variable may be the ratings of the characteristics of the computers. 7-point Likert scale. Development of a linear combination of the independent variables will best discriminate the categories of the dependent variable. Examination of whether a significant difference exists between the group in terms of the independent variable. Okay, that all these things can be done using multidiscriminant analysis. Now, the first point is that classification of the respondents into 2 or more groups based on the value of the independent variable is being done. Now, the discriminant analysis are described by the number of categories possessed by the dependent variable. So, based on the number of dependent variables, discriminant analysis is being classified. Okay, so if the dependent variable is having only 2 groups, what will happen is it is called as only 2-group discriminant analysis. For example, in our example, it is only 3 brands are being considered. So it cannot be considered as a 2-group discriminant analysis. Correct. So in our example, we have brand A, B, and C. So it can be called as multi-discriminant analysis. Why? Because based on the rating. So based on the ratings, what does that mean? Based on the rating, you are trying to classify okay, so what has happened here is nothing but based on the ratings, you're trying to classify the different brands. Here, brands. Okay, now you have to see brand choice of brand. Choice of brand is dependent on the preference or rating of the customer. So here, basically, you're trying to categorize the ratings. Okay, so are they really loyal? May or may not. May not be loyal or not loyal. So you're trying to categorize for each of the brands. So here you have brand A, brand B, and brand C. So here what happens is you are asking preference question from 1 to 7. This is metric or this is numeric response, and this is non-numeric. Okay, this is numeric, this is non-numeric, correct? So you're trying to categorize different brands based on the type of the ratings which is being correct. So So this is again the same thing. You're trying to categorize the customers based on the ratings which is provided. Now, similar thing even happens in the other example. Okay, soft drink users, heavy, medium, and light users of soft drink. Soft drinks differ in terms of their consumption of frozen food. So you know what are the different frozen foods, correct? So consumption of the frozen food can be related with the consumption of soft. So here consumption of the soft drinks can be a dependent variable, can be an independent variable, correct? So sorry, it can be soft drinks consumption can be a dependent variable because so how much do you consume the soft drinks based on the type of the frozen food being uh, consumed, correct? Next is what are the distinguishing characteristics of the consumers who respond to the direct demand. Basically, if you have to see here, one variable is to be considered as a non-numeric and one variable is to be considered as a numeric. That is the basic classification that can be discrimination that can be done between cluster analysis and the multidiscriminant. Correct? So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead. I think we will just go to the next topic, that is geometric mean. Is there in 4 geometric mean? What has happened is a person invested 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees. Okay, the percentage returns towards the end of the first year. Percentage returns are as below. So towards the end of year 1, returns in percentage minus 22.1. Second year it is 28.7. So you are supposed to determine geometric supposed to determine the geometry. Always remember one thing: whenever there is a percentage growth, average percentage growth is to be determined, we are supposed to use geometric mean, correct? So why this is done like this? Probably we'll learn this studying the finance accounting, financial management second semester. Correct? Why geometric mean is exactly used? Because whenever there is a compounding effect, okay, the money gets compounded. Okay, so you cannot actually use the simple average. You have to use geometric mean because based on the closing account, the closing balance in this particular year, you will be able to get the returns for the next year. So for the next year, if we have to determine the total returns obtained in the next year, we have to consider the closing balance for this particular year. So that is the reason. So there are some factors because of which we are using the geometric mean whenever there is a percentage increase. So if you have to see this particular question, they have given us the percentage returns. We have to determine what is the geometric mean for this. Right solution. So make note of this, then I will rub this particular notes. Okay, so I assume that you have made note of this. Let's go ahead. Our right solution. First column was here. Next is percentage. Okay, so towards the end of the first year. So okay, so towards the end of the first year, the growth factor or the growth percentage is minus 20. That means what? If I had invested, or if any person would have invested 100 rupees, towards the end of the first year, the money value has depreciated, and 22 rupees is the loss towards the end of the first. So the growth factor, if you have to consider, it is considered as 1 minus 22 points. So what is the answer for this? 1 minus 22.1. How much will be the answer? 1 minus 22.1. So how much should be 1 minus 22.1? Next growth factor is 1 plus 28.7, which is equal to, yes, we have gone wrong. Just a minute. So here there should be, this is growth factor, 1 minus 0.221, 1 plus 0.287, go to 0.779, 1.287, correct? Now we have to determine the geometric mean. Geometric mean is nothing but 1 into 0.779, 1.287. Can you determine what is the answer for this? Okay, so this is going to be the answer for geometric mean. So just multiply and see what is the answer. Basically, that will be the answer. Okay, so this actually concludes the complete syllabus. Okay, so next is we'll solve one more problem on scatter diagram. We'll consider two different variables. Uh, Price of mobile and sale of mobile. Okay, so we are considering two different variables: price of mobile as well as sale of mobile. Let us assume that the price is terms of thousands, 6, 7, 10, 12. Sale of mobile, 4,000, 1,000. If you have to see price of mobile, sale of okay, sale of mobile is basically dependent variable. Why? Because sale of mobile is dependent on the price of. Is there any type of a doubt? Done. You are supposed to ask if there is any type of a doubt. Because assume that always it is important that we consider independent variable. Independent variable. Okay. Our dependent variable is and independent variable is okay. These are independent variables. The first point, if you have to shift is 6 and 2. 6 and 2 is a point. 7 and 1.5. 7 and 1.5. Next is 10 and 1. Last one is 12 and so any doubts? Is there any type of doubt? Correct. So once this is done, similarly, the scatter diagram, let's see. Yes. So starting salary, and it's marks in graduation. Well, starting salary is 38, and marks in graduation, let us assume that it is for CGPA. CGPA can be 6.2. Okay. Now, here the dependent variable is very much important. Dependent is nothing but salary. Why? Because starting salary is dependent on marks. In this case. Okay. Marks is independent variable. Marks is considered as an independent variable. So that is the case. Marks is the independent variable. Dependent variable is considered on x-axis. The dependent variable, that is starting salary. Starting salary is considered on the y-axis. Okay. So starting salary is 36. Here the minimum value is 6.2, 4, 6.8. Okay. So 6.2, whenever there is a 6.2, 7, 6.2 and 37. See, if there is any doubts, you're supposed to ask. Not getting any doubts. So not sure whether students are listening afternoon class or not. Getting any type of questions. So just solving these problems in the benefit of students who have attended this. Questions. I'm expecting some questions to come, but not getting any type of questions from students. Really sure whether continue this. Students can read it by themselves. It's 7.2 and 40. 7.2 and somewhere here. But basic point here is this placing of marking these points. There is no much difference. Difference is in considering the dependent variable and the independent variable. Here you should not falter. Dependent and independent variable should be properly selected. If there is any doubts, Okay, so possibly we will just conclude here. Just talk to the class here. Talk to the class here. So extra class needed. Class here. Otherwise, if it is after class, hold it. There is no doubts. Not sure whether everyone. In this case, I will just stop the classes. Afternoon's class, I was thinking of solving some more questions on problems on correlation. In case if anyone wants me to take extra classes on correlation, rank correlation, you can just communicate the same class here. Okay. Ultimately, the class here will do. Yes. Okay, so I think some of them have messaged me chat box. Okay, so basically you can unmute yourself and you can answer. Until now I was just expecting some answer. Paper pattern. Paper pattern is nothing but paper pattern. Paper pattern is nothing but from module 1, 4, 5 modules are there. So from each of the module you will be getting 20 marks. From each module you will be getting 20 marks. So this is the same for all the subjects. From each module you will be having 20 marks. So what I want the students to do is concentrate first on module 1, 2, 3, and 5. Leave this in the beginning. Why? Because first your safety is important. You have to see that you pass this subject first. Correct? Why? Because I have confidence in students' capability capable of passing. But since this time you do not have much time to study so much, that is the reason what I suggest is concentrate on the and the last module. Why? Because this is nothing but the theory aspect. You can finish it fast. You can make yourself safe. Once you are confident of clearing this subject, afterwards you can concentrate on the fourth module. If there are some problems which you may have done, some of them may have already done it in graduation degree, but still to be on the safer side, this is sufficient. Okay, so from one of the modules you'll be having option. So we don't know from which module it is going. Possibly sometimes I'm telling you an example. It's not that compulsorily. Sometimes what happens is 40 marks will be asked from the module 1. Okay, I'm just giving you this as an example. It is not compulsorily the same. It can be 20 marks from any of the modules. Are you getting this? So any of the modules, it can be 20 marks extra can be asked. Either you can answer the first 20 marks or the next 20 marks. Are you getting this? So in case, let us assume that this is not there. Let us assume not asked 40 marks from this module. They may have asked 40 marks from the next module. In which case you have to answer 20 marks only again. Are you getting this? Either this or this 20 marks. Correct? So if you're answering this, and this, it will be 100 marks. Or let us assume that if you are not answered the next 20 marks, you'll be answering this and this. The rest. So we do not know from which module you'll be getting 40 marks. Correct? So any doubts in this case? This is going to be the pattern of the examination. Any doubts? If there is any doubts here, always to ask one over WhatsApp. So what I was thinking was we'll have an extra class in the afternoon. So so we'll have it. Whatever may be the case, we'll solve some more questions in the afternoon.